Hey everybody, thank you for watching episode number 40 of Teddy Bears and Tentacles podcast. I'm your host, Quinn, and I have with me today my also host, Skinny Rick.
Also the other guy at this table.
What do you mean? You're not the other guy, dude?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's just only two of us at this table, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're doing produce ourselves.
Yeah. I would do this so that we can see this.
Yeah, check it out, dude. We're switching from over here. So we got kind of a quick episode today. I just got back in. I just got back in from Moab, Utah. I went out there with my family and had a lot of fun doing that. It was our first family vacation in like 15, 16 years.
It's a long time, dude.
Together. Yeah, all three of us. All three of the sons.
Yeah.
And the moon. You know, the moons. No, so it was just me and my brothers and my parents. And it was a lot of fun. So what you been up to?
I went shopping for new clothes for the summer because, you know, all I own are pants and hoodies. Yeah. So I bought some shorts.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah, I'm wearing them right now.
The shorts?
Yeah.
Cool.
You want to see them?
Sure. Let's check out Skinny Rick's new shorts, too.
Look at them.
Yeah,
They're
dude.
checkered.
Yeah. Checkered shorts. Where'd you get those from? The van store?
I got them from Zoomy.
From Zoomies?
I got them from Zoomies.
Cool. Dang, bro. Well,
so drunk?
We'll talk about that guy in a minute, too.
But, yeah, I got them. They're denim. They look like they're pants, but they're not.
So you got one pair?
No, so I got these. I got a pair of sweat shorts that have checkered on them. Some blue tie-dye sweat shorts, some black sweat shorts, some black jogger shorts, so like joggers that were cut, and some green ones that were cut, and then I got another pair of shorts, but they're too big because they wouldn't let me try them on. Yeah. But they're in denim. They're like red and black.
Yeah. So you're gonna return them?
It's been. I took the tags off and everything, and so.
Dang, bro.
I don't know.
Gotta keep them tags on.
I mean, they were $10.
Yeah.
Hot Topic was running a $10 on shorts, but also a buy one get one 30% off. So 2 pairs of shorts for $17.
Yeah.
So
it's not bad.
So it was, I mean, you know, it was good.
It was shopping for sure. Well, that's good, dude. I'm glad you found some shorts. Nothing else really. I'm pretty jet lagged, dude. I probably slept like 10 to 12 hours that entire trip. And
this keyboard's kind of doing us slow.
My hair doesn't look good, dude. I don't even care.
Check out that hair, dude.
Yeah. But we so we got a couple of things that we want to talk about. We're gonna make this a quick one. Like I said, I'm jet lagged. I don't really feel that great either. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I ate a bunch of trash the whole time. And
did you eat a Cliff Bar while you were there? So you're telling me you went
to the cliffs.
You went into the mountains, into the places where the picture on a Cliff Bar is taken, and you didn't eat a Cliff Bar.
No, dude. I didn't eat a Cliff Bar. I'm sorry to disappoint you. But
fine, I guess.
I did eat some really probably the worst Mexican food I've had. And also we went to this.
And isn't that just closer to Mexico than us, or no?
I mean, yeah, but it's like,
well, I guess it's
a couple states
further north than us, but also like you can't. I'm not talking about by boat. I'm talking about by land.
Yeah.
So.
Let me find this name real quick, and I'll tell you I'll tell the listeners what I said earlier. About the place that we were at, because it is pretty interesting. What was the guy's name? I'm trying to look real quick to find out who sent the Mormons. Mormon pioneers, dude. Brigham Young. So this is what happened basically was Brigham Young sent all the Mormons down from Canada into Utah to try and get a piece of the country claimed.
Piece of that apple pie, dude.
Yeah. So they went over there. This is so weird, dude.
What?
Switcher from over here. It's funny. So, they came down here. They killed a bunch of the Native Americans. Basically they made it to where
they took the land.
But what they did specifically, the plan was if they controlled all the resources, whenever everybody from the east
finally got here,
they would have no choice but to conform to
Mormonism,
Mormonomity, or whatever you want to call it.
Mormon.
Yeah. So they came over here, and then there was a guy who, there was a guy who had set up already. I'm sorry that I don't know this guy's name, but I'm just telling a story. So the guy had another guy had found a place and set up a thing to mine uranium because he had found a bunch of uranium in Moab.
What is uranium? Is that radioactive stuff?
Yeah, it's just a radioactive element. And so he started doing that. The Mormons showed up and they built a temple, and then they started to build another temple, and he was like, So he bought out the people who were in charge of building buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought them out and tore down the rest of the second Mormon temple, and then built 3 or 4 other different types of churches. And this guy was an atheist, just one so the Mormons couldn't
He saw what they were doing.
Yeah, their religion was really strict too, and supposedly he was kind of a big partier kind of guy. And so Mormons traditional Mormons, they don't do caffeine. They think caffeine is a sin, all that kind of stuff. So
if you know me,
yeah,
I also think that caffeine is a sin.
Yeah, but you still do it.
But I still do it.
Yeah,
yeah. Because have you ever tried caffeine, dude?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I drink it every day.
I just drink tea, really.
Yeah, but so that was pretty interesting, dude. They, eventually the cancer rate in Moab was so high compared to the rest of the country because of the
uranium. They're doing a
uranium. Yeah, that they concreted in.
They're doing a radioactive and not the hit song,
Yeah. Yeah. But they ended up concreting the mine in, and so there's actually
they filled it in.
Yeah, supposedly there's
bunch
tons
more
and tons of it in there still. Yeah, so it was pretty cool, dude. It was I found out that vaping is illegal there,
statewide or just in the town.
I don't know. There was no vape shops anywhere. Whenever I looked it up,
yours?
It was no, you're... Yeah, I was just walking around vaping. But then my vape broke, dude, while I was there.
Oh, no.
So I was trying to find another one, and it was if you want vape, you got to go to Colorado, dude.
All I can imagine is you're there, and you're asking oh, where's a vape shop? And it's the meme where he's I feel so bad that I can't remember his name, but it's the prince that is Black Panther. What's the prince's name? In Marvel, Prince T'Challa.
I don't know.
Is that right?
I don't know.
And he's we don't do that here.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but it was weird. So I had to wait until yesterday, whenever we got back to Colorado, to go to the vape place.
Mm-hmm.
So but it was a fun trip. And so you want to go into some of the stuff that we want to talk about?
Sure.
So I guess the first thing would be this episode is actually just going to release today. And I think that with the stuff that's going on now, kind of all of the social unrest and all of that this would be a good time for us to start releasing them the day of or maybe the day after. So our schedule is going to change a little bit. I'd say for the time being, we'll be releasing episodes Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, just based on kind of when we have time to do it, and it'll smooth itself out a little bit later as the COVID stuff, we get back into doing normal stuff and more of a normal schedule, kind of with everybody else. So our schedule, for the most part is the same, but every now and then, as we get closer to this building reopening, we'll have to do projects and stuff like that. So
there's a lot of stuff to do, really.
Yeah.
There's just always something to do in this building. So
I know.
we'll just be busy.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Forever,
dude, until I freaking die, bro. Yeah. And then even then,
still stuff.
I might still be doing some things.
Yeah. Well, we so I guess the first thing that we want to talk about is this Chris Delia stuff. And
this stuff has me sweating.
Yeah. So the reason that we want to talk about this is not because like we know the guy personally or anything like that, but the reason that I'm in this industry is not because I like applied for a podcast producer job somewhere. It's because like I myself am like a podcasting fan. You know, I consume it constantly, other people's stuff. And so like I've probably seen 800 episodes of Rogan, which is probably close to 2,500 hours of that guy talking. You know, same thing with Chris Delia. I've probably watched half of his episodes and they're an hour long. Like that's still 75 hours of that guy, talking. And all of those guys represent something different for me, and it seems silly, but there's kind of somebody out there that almost anybody can relate to podcast wise whenever it comes to like personalities and struggles and stuff like that. For instance, like I was depressed a couple of years ago. I started listening to Theo Von again, and it just knowing that there's somebody that was in my situation and that you can get over depression without messing with drugs or without doing any of that stuff. Like it helped give me hope and motivated me a little bit to move forward. And, Chris Delia is another one for me that represents something somewhat important. And that's that you can have more fun than anybody else in the room and be sober, and also like at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with the person that you are, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And so he had, at this point, multiple women come out on Twitter with different screenshots and stuff like that are saying that he was trying to groom them basically at a young age so that, whenever they turned 18, he would be able to hook up with them or procure nudes from them. And, at this point, he's denied it to like TMZ. Really, honestly, there's only two people that know the truth, and that's those girls and him. And it's just it's a crappy situation kind of to see it happen. A bunch of people online are really like smearing his name at the moment, bringing up the fact that he played a pedophile in an episode of Workaholics once, and also in that TV show, more or less like played himself, they're saying, because he was also a comedian in that show that was hiding the fact that he had pictures of, underage girls and stuff. And it's really sad because you don't know in today's culture and social climate whether or not, even if it's not true, it's a lot of times that stuff is damning enough where these people's career end. And it's just kind of a sad thing to watch. I hope that it's not true. I think that as far as the other people that are in the circles with him, I follow a lot of different comedians, from people that are starting out to, people who have been around forever, and to see some of the newer comedians bash on him and saying stuff like his special sucked anyway, or making stuff up. It's just really sad because it seems like being in that industry, you're in the industry of making people happy. Yeah. Why would you not want that to not be true? If you're in that industry, like these people have paved the path for you to move forward. Like pay attention to what they're doing.
So is it all just is it all just on Twitter right now, or is it being considered for like a legal case? Or
I don't know.
Because like it just seems so out of pocket for him. You know, at least his persona on everything. That's the biggest thing. Is he seems real consistent across everything.
And he has
like
for a
his
long time.
podcast, his Twitter, his stand up, his like guest appearances, interviews. It all just feels real, genuine. And the way he talks about that stuff and openly condemns pedophilia and all this stuff, and like, and the allegations or the accusations or whatever the word is, they're not like, if it was like some girl came out and was like, yeah, you know, I was 16, he was 18, like, and he tried to, you know, like get me to sleep with him or something, I'd be a little bit more like, okay, well maybe, you know, because he's 40 now though, and that's not what the thing is. The thing is like, this just happened, or like this happened recently or something like that in the past few years, right? That's what they're saying.
No, some of them are old. It's like 10 years old.
Yeah, but still like within the bounds of like social media being present. Yeah. But if it was like, you know, if it was like this girl that was like, yeah, we were at a party and he like tried to hook up with me, I could see that, like college Delia or something even then. But like this is now, I don't know, man. I hope it's not true, but I also hope that if it is true, that he doesn't like, no, it wasn't true, like blah blah blah. Like if it is real, it would be much better for him to like
just admit it.
Just be like, I mean, it was, I did it.
Well, this is the problem with it. There's multiple issues whenever it comes to it. One of them is just the issue with cancel culture itself. People jump on a bandwagon. They have some validity behind the things that they say, and then come to find out they were full of shit the whole time. So, for instance, one of them that I saw was a girl saying that it was DMs between him and her. They were cropped out, and basically he was trying to get her to go to his place after his show. And it was, you know, hey, like, what it doesn't matter what it said, because this is what she said. She said, this is my interaction with Chris Delia whenever I was a senior, thing posted. And that's what the premise of it was, him trying to get her to come to his place after the show. Later down in the thread, she admits a senior in college, but still is what she said. And it's okay. So we're canceling someone for making a pass now, a legal one. Like, is that what, you know, it doesn't make sense. And so I ended up getting in a little Twitter argument with someone who frequents Kill Tony. And whenever I say frequents Kill Tony, I mean like is on the podcast and does a stand up and stuff like that. And basically another Kill Tony, it was like Death Squad, like comedy stalker account that just like retweets Kill Tony jokes and stuff like that. They tweeted a thing that they photoshopped, like one of those girls' screenshots. So it's like Chris Delia 2010, and then it was, they like made a text message thread that he was like, hey, what's up? And it was like, the person was like, hey, like, I'm a big fan, I guess you could call me a baby, like it was in quotes. And then they were like, he's like trying to solicit nudes from him. The person says that they're a 9-year-old boy. And then Delia's like, I don't care. Trying to make it look like he's trying to procure nudes from this 9-year-old. And I commented on it. I said, this is fake. And they said, you know, this comedian said, but it has his name and date on it.
That doesn't mean anything,
I said,
dude.
listen, like this is, I'm going to tell you why I know that it's fake. His podcast started in 2017. That's where the term baby comes from.
Yeah. So
you're telling me that in 2010, when you were a 10-year-old boy, you somehow or another you knew that was the terminology that you're supposed to use as one of his fans, like. Dude. And then they commented something like the person who, so the comedian had retweeted it, and then the person, like the stalker troll account, put an emoji of like somebody slapping themselves in the face. And it's like, hey, all right, It was probably a joke. Still not funny. Like it was a joke that bombed to begin with.
Hey, how about this? I'm gonna quote Delia here. At least make it funny.
Yeah.
That's dude, when he said that to Ari about the whole Kobe situation, he was like, I get it, you're a comedian. So you make jokes, but at least make it funny.
So here, I'll show you the interaction.
Hey, is there anything funny about framing someone for pedophilia? Because last time I checked, it's not funny.
Yeah. So this was the account. So you can see right here, this is what they posted to begin with. It got retweeted 20 times. I got 75 comments, and this is where I said obviously fake. I ended up blocking both of them. They said,
but it has the name and date. Dude, that doesn't mean anything, bro.
Yeah.
Listen.
Listen.
Just because it has a name and date on it does not mean anything. I mean, think about this. It is easier for me to make that than it is for me to try to forge your handwriting.
Yeah.
Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Think about writing with a pen to try to match someone else's signature is more difficult than me to I could do that from my phone right now. Yeah. I could literally get on there, text you a couple of times. I could change the date. I could change the name. I could save it, rename it, whatever. Yeah. And then, put it on Twitter and people will be like, oh, this is obviously real.
So, at the end of the day, cancel culture at this point is it's too much. Look, if he did it and he crossed some legal bounds, he deserves to do whatever amount of time that is required. If you have listened to this podcast for any length of time, what's the one thing that we talk about more than anything in this thing? Not consciously, but it comes up in almost everything that we talk about is some type of child crime, pedophilia, sex trafficking, something like that. It comes up in all of this conspiracy stuff constantly. And so this is a stand that I will take this stand. It's as big of a fan of I am as Chris Delia. If what he did was wrong and he broke a law, then he deserves whatever he gets. But to attempt to make him look like he's trying to procure nudes from a 10-year-old boy, even if it's a joke,
weeks after he openly makes fun of the fact that people think that, whether you believe it or not, his whole thing is, oh, you think that there's some sort of secret pedophile ring in Hollywood, and they were people were giving him crap about it. And he's like, no, dude, you're dumb. I don't agree with him, but he's sitting here saying that. So,
well, he took it back after he watched the Epstein thing. Did you know that?
Well, he was I say he took it back. He
was like, okay, so there's.
He was like, so
I said the Pizzagate thing, and I was wrong.
Yeah. But also a comedian, dude. So I don't know what you expect. Sorry, I have to forward this email real quick.
Sorry. Well, nonetheless, dude, I hope that it's not true. Brian and Brendan talked about it on Fighter and the Kid, and Brendan started bawling, crying, and it's just a sad situation, dude. He had a kid recently, and again, it's just one of those things that even as a fan, it's sad. These are, these people put their personal lives out there and stuff like that, and if you listen to them for a long time, and become a fan of them, seeing this stuff is hard. He has a kid. I introduced him to Skinny Rick. It's
dude, he's my favorite comedian, dude. He's got the big funnies.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I really was hoping that I'd see his podcast come out soon and he would be talking about it, but
he's been radio silent, dude. And
some people are like, oh, see, he's suspicious. He's not saying anything. Dude, he's a fragile boy.
Yeah.
he stopped getting on Twitter for a while because people were, you know, I mean, because it's Twitter, dude. Because people suck.
Yeah.
Like, he's out here trying to make people laugh. You got people who think they're just, I don't know, better. Yeah. Making fun of him. I don't know.
It's a rough situation, dude. And like, maybe he's a jerk, dude. Like, we don't know the guy personally. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of people that are saying this stuff. Like, you know, they have been in the same room as him and worked the same stage as him and stuff like that. But I don't know, dude. I feel like there's a good chunk of it that's just these people drinking the haterade, you know? And I mean, honestly, like, there's no other way to explain it. People get jealous over other people's success. It happens all the time.
Oh, and you know that he's getting famous, dude. Yeah. I mean, seriously. Like,
but you know that if this like thing becomes true, we're never going to see that movie. That movie's not going to come out.
Oh yeah, how much longer until that comes out, dude? I want to see it.
That thing's not going to come out.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Why?
I don't think so.
Oh, because of him?
Yeah. Yeah, if he gets canceled, they won't release the movie.
That's a big loss for
They killed Kevin Spacey in House of Cards. The best TV show ever made. They killed him and made the next season was the worst TV season of a TV show ever made.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, it'll happen, dude. So, shout out to that guy, you know?
Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, and Delia and that, you know, whatever. Yeah, so a couple other things. I found like this kind of obscure WikiLeaks file dump that I haven't had the time to go through yet. I'll go through some of that stuff soon, and we can do a talk about some of it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, was there something Epstein that I wanted to say? I want to say that there was.
I don't know, dude. Epstein.
Let me look through my stuff. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let me try and find this. So I'll end up. Wow, this is gone.
They deleted it?
No, it wasn't like it wasn't the most breaking news ever, but I saw it this morning and it's not on here anymore. But basically 2 people had gotten arrested for trying to break into Zorro Ranch, and it says in the yesterday, and it says in the thing that they were caught by the property manager.
Huh.
Not like the person trying to sell the stuff, like the manager of
the guy
property. And so like it just goes to show you just the craziness still behind this thing, because like the way that he moved all that money around and set up his trust and stuff like that, like legitimately he has it set up to where like people are still working, you know, still has people working for him. Bro. And these victims are still like having trouble getting the money, you know, and he's got like somebody that's still riding a golf cart around Zorro Ranch, making sure everything's cool.
Oh man,
it's crazy. I also saw a funny meme. So you know that there was I guess I'll put this up. There's no way for me to.
It's like. Oh, it's actually later than I thought it was. I thought it was like 12. I was like, no. It's 12 and I'm yawning. It's like 3.
No.
Which makes
Dang,
sense,
bro. I have to find this because this was like one of the funniest things. Oh, yeah. So this was this meme was like floating around yesterday. So there was a guy from the Middle East that ended up buying Little St. James Island.
Oh, wow.
So
for real?
Yeah, this was.
What did he do?
This is the meme, and it was everywhere. This was everywhere.
I've not seen this yet.
How funny is that, dude?
I was looking at the words and I was like, I don't get it. And then I saw the face and I was like, wait a second.
So what it is, and this was like, I don't know how this happened because
that's just Photoshop, right? That's not actually what the guy looks like. Yeah.
But it was in like legit. I mean, it was in articles that it shouldn't have been in. So like it was on like the Daily Beast and stuff like that. And dude, I was.
Dude, can I tell you something right now? I'm going to tell you this right now. If I was whatever the guy investigating all this, and I see this man walk up, it's like, oh, thank you for letting me buy this place. I'd be like, you know what, man? You're free to go. Yeah. Live on your island.
Yeah, dude.
I'd just be like, if I ever catch you in my part of town, I'm taking you in. Yeah. But you've earned this. Yeah. You can stay on this island.
It's like that Eric Andre skit where he's on like the dude's shoulders trying to buy the car.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I don't trust people like that.
Yeah. So if you can't see, if you're listening to this and not watching it, it is there was like all these articles saying like this Middle Eastern guy bought the thing. And whenever you click on it, it was like a news style thing with the guy's picture, and it's literally like Epstein with like a Osama bin Laden beard, like photoshopped over his face.
And not good, but good enough to where I saw the words first and was like, "What is this name?" And then I see his face, and I'm like, "Wait a second."
Good enough to where if you didn't follow it, you would look at it and be like, "Okay."
That's why I'm saying, dude. It's like friggin' Epstein disappears for a little while, grows his beard out. Gets a little, little head. What are they called? Turbans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gets a dang turban. Comes back up. So, I'd like to buy this island from you. Yeah.
So, I also wanted to say, we did this Land Cruiser thing, tour, guided tour while we were in Utah and Moab. And so it goes through the uranium mining trail, like through this mountain. So, the guy made it a cow wide. So it's literally big enough for the Jeep and maybe like a foot, more. So you're looking at the side of the cliff and it's like 1,200 feet down or whatever. But our guide, this company, come to find out, the guy hires only like super smart people and people like ex-military and stuff like that. So look, it's the desert, okay? It is
real deal.
Yeah. And this is where like, just for reference, like the first dinosaur, like big findings were coming from in the US. So like the guy who found the first like T-Rex stuff, he's the one that they consulted for Jurassic Park. He actually owns like the Cybertronic T-Rex and stuff like that. Like it's,
from the movie?
This is. Yeah, so like the Velociraptor, for instance.
This is the guy?
What? No. I'm talking about the guy, like that. All of that happened in Moab.
Oh,
so, yeah. And so
I thought you meant the guide was the one who had the dinosaur. I was like, what?
So, for instance, there's two types of raptors. There's the Velociraptor, which you see in Jurassic Park, which they make like human size and terrifying. But in reality, Velociraptors are about 50 pounds. Or smaller.
I mean, I'm sure they're still.
But what they actually use what they use the model for the Velociraptor is another raptor that was called the Utah Raptor, and that one was
big,
like a human, but they were only found in the like Utah that area, and like a little bit of like Arizona, New Mexico. But I said all that to say, these are like, if you go missing in this place, you die from exposure, like within a couple days.
Yeah.
And so, we kind of get to talking, and my dad was asking what he used to do. And he's like, yeah, I was in the military. Like I helped train special forces people. He was like, and then I worked in the FBI for 2 years in child crimes, and it was just really heavy. So like, this is my retirement, like technically I'm overqualified to do this, but what we actually do here is like, so they basically respond first to everything. If somebody goes missing in a cave, if somebody falls off of a cliff, because there's no hospital close, they have to airlift everyone out and all that stuff. And so, I got to ask him a couple questions about his time in the FBI. It was only 2 years. and that was 3 years ago. So, he actually worked the Harvey Weinstein case. With the Harvey Weinstein case, the model that they used to build like the psychological profile was actually the Epstein case from like 10 years before. And so, I was asking him questions, probably like he didn't want me to, like what's on Anthony Weiner's laptop. And he said that he wouldn't know that because it's not a case that he was involved in. And I asked him a little bit about the Epstein stuff, and I asked him if he was intelligence. And he said, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Is he like is he Mossad?" And he was like, first he was like, no, like, no, he was just a psychopath, and he was like, but like there is a connection to Israel, and if he was Mossad, we wouldn't know because we don't deal with that. He was like, that would be like the CIA or something like that. But he was like, there is a link there. And so I was like, damn, dude. So it was pretty interesting. He said that the Harvey Weinstein thing goes super deep. The Epstein thing goes even deeper. So it was cool. It was an interesting conversation. That was pretty much all I asked him. I didn't
Interesting conversations in the middle of the desert, dude.
I didn't want to get too deep into like asking him weird stuff.
You don't want to get drone strikes.
It's frazzle drip reel, all that stuff.
You don't want to get, you don't want your Jeep to accidentally tip off the side of that.
Yeah.
That deal.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Is there anything that you want to talk about at all, or anything like that?
No, I mean, I haven't really been doing much. I've just been skateboarding, dude. That's it. I haven't really been paying attention to most stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I've been so stressed out the last week that I got invited to go over to the park and pick up skating again with some buddies, and I've just been trying to not escape, but it's been good to clear my mind for a little bit, kind of reset. So I don't know. I really have been disconnected from most stuff for the last, since you left.
So what's been stressing you out?
Just the current state of the world. Yeah. And, not even there are some people who are afraid of change, and that's why they're stressed out. That's not it for me. What's got me stressed out is the fact that there's so much hate. That's what's got me worked up, is people won't even give each other a platform to speak. You've got these, you got these people out here trying to make a difference for them, not really for them. At the end of the day, it's for all of us, as Americans. But then you've got the radical people who
taking over cities
who are saying kill the cops. You've got you've got police officers who have families. You've got guys out there who are trying to protect those people.
I'll show you this
and it's
video.
This one side wants to point fingers at the rioting and the looting, and this those people want to point fingers at the police brutality, and all the people in the middle who are just trying to make a difference are lost in the chaos.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I've seen some videos online that are just, they're really saddening as well. I saw one where there was a protest happening, and there was this young, he was a young white guy, looked like he was maybe early in college and something like that, and he was picking up trash and putting it in the trash can, and other protesters were actively taking the trash back out and throwing it back on the ground, and he just kept picking it back up.
Yeah.
And then this video I saw the other day, and we won't put this video up, one, because there's cursing in it, too much cursing. But you're still gonna hear it because we're watching a video. Two, because I don't know the whatever of it, but it's about a minute. And to be fair, this dude I do believe that this dude's trolling, but he's wearing a MAGA hat and he has an American flag and he's in the autonomous zone. So he's just standing here looking at these pictures of the different victims and stuff.
I don't get it, man.
You're looking at dead bodies. You're looking at dead bodies and then you're wearing a hat that says that you support the person that killed them. You support the system that killed them. So don't look at that up. Don't see it in his face. It's not for you. It's not for you. We're here. Please don't have that. No, yeah. So obviously you came here to stir up shit. That's what I'm saying. You can't come here and
He's not saying anything. So,
wow, dude. I don't.
One of the ladies is saying if somebody has
a
a lighter, she wants to light the flag on fire. And
that's what I'm saying, dude. Is like,
there's just in the midst of like, do you want unity or do you not want unity?
you can't look. You can't have unity with either of that.
No.
Like, you can't be the person. Like, this isn't for you. I'm sorry, but if you're an American, this is 100% for you.
Yeah.
Like, this is our problem that we have to deal with
together.
And together. That's like the bottom line, dude. Like, that's it. That is the end of the conversation or the debate. That's the end of the debate.
If you
all right.
Call it
Here's
that.
the deal. Here's the deal. We got problems as Americans.
Yeah.
If you're American, it's your problem. All right. So we're gonna work through it together. End of debate. Now, how do we fix it? How do we help each other? That's the conversation.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you can't sit here and tell someone this isn't for you.
Yeah.
This isn't yours. This isn't your thing. Like, this man, I don't know the man. Wearing a MAGA hat into this.
He's obviously he went there.
Yeah. Wearing a MAGA hat into that zone is asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And like that's it. But the man's just standing there.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's hurting. Maybe he knows someone on that list. Maybe one of those people was his friend. Maybe he just realizes that maybe he just finally realizes that there is something wrong and he doesn't know how to process it.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on inside of his head. Like, we can't just keep jumping to conclusions on stuff that we don't know anything about.
Yeah.
I can't tell what you're thinking. I can't tell what's in your heart. All I know is your actions. And until people can realize that there is too much pain and hurt for everyone to fall into the same stance on this, we're not going to make any progress.
Yeah.
All right. It's got to be about restoration. It can't be about power. Like, that's it. Rioting and saying kill the police, get rid of the police, like, let the people do their thing. What's that going to do? I mean, you can see in areas where anarchy has taken over, it doesn't last long. It just becomes mob rule. Whoever's got the most amount of power wins. Yeah. What we need is the system to, in practice, line up with its design. Yeah. So we need the system to support and protect the people. That's what we need. We don't need to get rid of it. We need to actually, in practice, have it line up with what it's designed to do. And I'm not an expert. I don't know how to make that happen. But like, there are smart people in the world in our country who I think have the potential to make big changes if they would just put aside their selfish gain. We've got all these political parties who, or party members who are trying to use other people's tragedies to their advantage. Dude, if you try to tell me right now, if you are sitting here and you say, well, the Democrats or well, the Republicans, if you're trying to put it on a party system, you have it wrong. That's not like...
That's not what it is.
That's not what it is at this point. At this point, we're past that. This isn't about left or right. This is about us as Americans having to work through our problems. And I will be I'll admit it. I don't know how to fix it. But what I do know is that isn't going to fix it. Yeah. The hate isn't what's going to fix it. So, I don't personally support the idea of this autonomous zone being an area free of police. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, but also, if there's no law and there is no order, then there's no law and there's no order, and it's not a like it's not.
Yeah.
There's no system. It's just a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You know.
And these are the people. You know, the police are the people that like get called on first, and you know, a lot of times sacrifice themselves whenever our nation does face tragedy, like 9/11. How many police officers and firefighters died trying to rescue people? And it wasn't, you know, there was no like higher pay for their risk that they took. They did it because it was, you know, their job and what they felt like. Same thing with the Boston Marathon bombing. Like, the first people to get there wasn't the military, it's the police every time. You know, and it's just sad to see.
There is absolutely no way that the system is without fault.
No,
I think the system has become a problem, but only because we let it slide. I mean, think about this. A good example is, who is it? The mayor or whatever, or the DA or something, that the police officer, what's the police officer's name that was in the George Floyd?
Derek Chauvin.
He's the one who had his knee.
Yeah.
So this man, right, also has this charge against him for putting, 41 bullets into a car in like 15 seconds, like just a few months before. And, you know, his boss, whoever, let him get away with it. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, that's fine. That's the problem, is we're putting people in office who have records of lying and cheating. And that's where we're letting corruption slip its way into the system. Yeah. All right. Well, we don't need a Democrat to run the country. We don't need a Republican to run the country. We need someone who cares about the people running the country. Yeah. All right. That's what we need. We don't need the constant debate over, well, should guns be legal? Oh, well, should abortion be legal? Oh, well, should this be? We don't need that. Yeah. What we need is someone who's going to help this country thrive, who's going to give opportunity to the people. Yeah. We need to stop worrying about these liberties and stuff, because we already have the most liberty of any country. We have it made here. Yeah. All right. We've got it. It's happening. Like, what we need someone who's going to lead us and give that opportunity to the people to make a better life for themselves. Yeah. We need people who are going to make a change to where, you know, there really is job opportunities for all races, all people. Like, that's what we need. We don't need this whole political debate. So, and unfortunately, I don't see anyone on the horizon who's gonna like fit that. I mean, all we've got are these, you know, people get latched on to, they make really idols out of people. There are people who have made Trump into their idol, you know, Hillary into their idol, whoever, Bernie, they're just a person. They're just human. They're going to make mistakes. We don't need a perfect person. We need someone whose heart is in the right place, who really cares about making this country better for everyone. And, you know, the
problem is that the system is not built for us to even have a person like that, because with legality of lobbying,
I think it was designed for that.
That
was the idea, but we have let things.
Yeah,
we've just let things creep in over time. And the thing is if you burn it to the ground and you try to restart, that is a lot to do. I mean, think about how just awful it was when we broke off from, you know, England and we tried to do our own thing. Like, that was a big mess. We came out pretty good, prety fine.
Yeah.
You know,
but those guys never got to see that.
They never got to see.
They never got to see that.
Yeah, and the thing is like, what we need people who aren't afraid to step up and volunteer to start taking over some of these roles. I'll tell you right now, any day of the week, I will pick someone who is a little underqualified for a job if I believe that they're going to make the right choices, because there's a reason that they have a team. You know, there's a reason that that Trump always talks about, well, we've got professionals. Oh, I'm surrounded by this. I'm surrounded by that. The man doesn't know about the coronavirus. The man doesn't know how this thing works. He's got professionals in there who are, who are conversing with him, who are bringing him the information, who are telling him, like advising him.
Yeah.
And we just need someone who's going to make the right choices. And, that's the biggest thing. That's why I'm like, you get such division in these parties because of issues that we really don't need to be arguing about. Yeah. We don't need to be wasting our time on a lot of this stuff. Oh, well, where's the tax money going to go? Well, it should go towards benefiting the people. Like that should be the line. Like, hey, is this going to help the person who gave me this money? Yes. Okay. Well, then let's do it. We're going to make our schools better. Cool. Are we going to make roads better? Cool. Are we going to make, are we going to make our military better? Do we need a stronger military? Okay. Well, we believe that there is a threat, here. Okay. So this year we're going to put this much into our military.
Yeah.
That's what we just need people to make those decisions. We don't need it to be about pleasing a political party.
Yeah.
So, and I really do think that we're not that much different than each other. Those people, I really don't think that there's much different from that girl who said she wanted to burn that flag to the old guy with the MAGA hat. I think they both want the opportunity to live life in this country free from oppression and discrimination, and they want equal opportunity. Like I believe that. Are there going to be people out there who are evil and just flat out racist, bad people? Yes, you're going to get that. But at the end of the day, a lot of us just want to live our lives to the best that we can. And that's why America is what it is today, is because, and the whole, like when you catch racist people saying stuff like go home, that's some bullcrap, dude. America is a country of immigrants. Like we are immigrants, The
only people who should be able to tell anybody to go home is a Native American.
Yeah, that's it.
Because and
even with that, we don't even know how long they were here before us. Like the thing is it's just land, and we're here together.
Yeah.
Like I do believe that people should get here legally, and I do believe that those systems should be in place to allow those people to get here legally. Yeah. But it's the same thing. Like the majority of people who come here are just coming here to make a better life for themselves and their families. And I think that we should allow that. I think we should make that opportunity available. But once you take all restrictions away, once you take all laws away, you're going to that like those things are supposed to weed out the bad people. That's what they're there for. If they're not doing that, we're not doing it right. So I think we need some smart people who can get into office and start really rethinking these systems and really, I think we're overcomplicating things. I think we need to simplify it. If it's not protecting us, if it's not helping us grow as a nation, it's really not. Yeah. It's really not necessary.
Well, the two biggest changes that need to happen for that to happen is, the mainstream media has to be regulated again. It's just the truth. Deregulation of mainstream media has turned this whole thing into a shit show.
Well, it's because they just say whatever they want.
Yeah.
They literally say whatever they want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. That's fine because freedom of speech. But you cannot sit here and tell me that you are a legitimate news source when you are showing me falsified information. Yeah. That's an agenda, dude. Yeah. You are the bad guy. Don't care if it's Fox. Don't care if it's CNN.
And you're profiting from it.
Yeah,
you're profiting from spreading false information.
See, that's
the other part of the system that has to change is lobbying. You can't have people in politicians' pockets and have the American people's interested.
And we've talked about this. I do think capitalism is the best in practice.
Yeah, sure.
I think that if someone wants to work hard and be smart with their money and wants to get rich, they should do that. In fact, a lot of people actually do. A lot of millionaires that we see, people talk about, oh, you're born with wealth. There's a lot of people who make it. There's a lot of people who make it for themselves. Now, like I said, there should be regulations and there should be laws to protect people. These massive corporations should not have politicians in their pockets, because at that point they have the people in their pocket, because those politicians are supposed to be the voice of the people. Yeah. They should be independent. It should be a burden to run in political to run a political office. Yeah. It should be a burden. It should be something that is hard. It should be something that is difficult, because it needs to be something that supports the people. You need to be carrying the people on your back, essentially. Like, your job is to protect them.
And people aren't always going to be happy.
No, people
not everybody's going to be happy every
people
time.
Aren't going to be happy. And that's been a thing for forever.
Yeah.
Like there are going to be things that you don't like, but that's what I'm saying. When we get into these liberties and we debate what people should and should not be allowed to do, it gets real tough. I think people should have the right to own guns. As a Christian, I don't think abortion is. I think it's awful, personally.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know your situation, but I still, either way, don't think that taking a life is a good thing. Now, set that aside. In America, I believe that people should have the right to make choices. That's how I feel about it, honestly. Yeah. I don't think it should be made illegal, but I definitely think that it should be thought through better. So instead of having these big discussions over, we should legalize this, make this illegal. Let's think about the small things. Let's think about the day-to-day life. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We're not talking about, like, school shootings happen, yes. People die from guns. A lot of people die from guns. It's a real thing. Yeah. But if you think about every single day in your life, there's got to be something more impactful to talk about, that's going to make your life better. I really believe that. I really believe that there is more to it than these big topics that we get hung up on. I really think that there's much more opportunity to improve our everyday life, to really,
for sure,
to really help that lower class and the middle class to really step up, if that makes sense. And not everyone needs to be rich. If everyone's rich, no one's rich. It's just money. Just money's going to change hands. It's going to circulate. Like that's just how it is. And it is tough, because once people have money, they have power, and that's where I think a lot of our regulations should come in with political stuff. I really think that it should not be a business. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a career. It really shouldn't. It should be a burden. It should be something that you have to deal with.
Be a career.
It's the original idea.
Yeah, but people turn it into being career politicians, and that's where, you end up with Hillary Clinton in some office in the White House in some form or another for, almost 20 years. And
I'm not into it.
It's made for the president to have 8 years max, and then for somebody else to come in and do it. It's not made for you to make it out of a career. Bill and Hillary Clinton have been living off of donations for the past 55 years. Like, basically,
For what, though?
And it's
what are we donating, dude? What are we doing? Like, that's my thing. It's like, that should not happen.
Yeah.
No matter what political party. I don't care. I cannot say that enough. I do not care. As a person, I am not in a political sense, as a person, more conservative than most people. I keep to myself. I mind my business. Like, I live very reserved, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to go buck wild with your life, fine, dude. Do it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what we need, is we need people to be able to live their lives the way that they want. And the thing is there's always going to be someone who's poor. There's always going to be people in poverty. Now, that level of poverty can be changed. We can give people opportunities. Here's the thing. If someone doesn't want to work, you work all the time, and that, like, I probably don't work as much as you, as many hours, but like every day I'm doing something. Yeah. And I like, I have money because I work all the time, because I have, taken the time to like to go through this training, this lifeguard training. I'm working out there, dude. Like I'm making it happen. for someone who is wanting the system to provide for them, I just I'm sorry. I don't care. I think that those systems that are in place should be there for people who cannot take care of themselves, who are in a place where they
aren't physically capable.
who aren't capable of taking care of themselves. And I really think that we should have these opportunities for people who are in poverty, who want to get out of it, who want to make something of themselves. There should be opportunity for them. I do believe that there is opportunity for them. I'm sure that there are people who get taken advantage of, without a doubt. It happens. But the thing is we need those opportunities to be in place, and we need the people to be willing to step up, to say that they've had enough of letting the system ruin their lives, letting these government officials tell them how to live. We need people to be stepping up and changing the world. I mean, you see, anytime we've got any type of revolution, it's because the people finally stood up, and not just political ones, but even technological advances throughout history have happened from people just being like, you know what, I think that I can make this better. Yeah. That's what we need, really. Yeah. You don't have to go invent some new thing, but could you imagine if everyone in this country just finally decided, you know what, I've had enough. We're not playing these games anymore. Yeah. We're doing this right. It would be amazing, And literally all I can do to help with that is live my life that way and try to talk to people about it, because, one, I'm not old enough to run for any sort of office. Yeah. I don't have the experience, but I have a voice.
Yeah.
And I can lead by example with my actions. I can tell you right now, if someone comes up in this next election cycle that I think is really truly independent of these party systems or unbiased, they're gonna get my vote over anyone.
Yeah.
It just, I think we should stop we shouldn't have to pick between two evils.
Yeah.
For our president.
For sure.
We shouldn't have to pick, well, this one's not as bad, so I guess we'll go with this guy,
Look at who we have. Look at the two that we have. This this is the best we can do.
We got a couple of PDF files over here, and
yeah, it's
Cheeto Man.
Well, I think we're getting closer to being able to see that. I think we're getting closer to having someone.
I really hope so, man.
More independent. Look at Andrew Yang. Even though he was running as a Democrat, he seems like someone who's more business minded and even more center than specifically left, or Tulsi Gabbard. She's a woman, a veteran.
I mean,
she's one of the only people that I see in Congress that whenever stupid stuff comes up says, I'm not gonna vote on that.
And let me just say, when I'm talking about all this, I'm not trying to take away from really the Black Lives Matter movement. As far as the organization goes, Black Lives Matter, they have some their I guess mission statement or beliefs on their website are very different from what people are actually protesting in the streets, which is why I think it's weird that we have taken a social group and used them as the forefront for this change. It's just money. It's just business. You're just putting this group of people in power to control the people. That's not what we need, but Black Lives Matter, as in the statement, as in, I'm not trying to take away from that. I 100% agree. All I'm saying is that, Black lives, y'all are here in America too. All I'm trying to say is as a white person, I am trying to help. I want to help. We were meeting with, Norris, Bishop Norris, the black guy, pastors of a black church here in Savannah. Yeah. And he was saying the same thing. People saying this Black Lives Matter, that statement is really people saying Black lives don't matter yet. Yeah. That's what people are trying to get. That's what they're trying to say. It's we're tired of Black lives not mattering.
Yeah.
I totally get it, dude. Like, I'm not that I get what it's like to be a black man, but I think it's wrong. I think the fact that you could ever feel like your life doesn't matter is wrong.
Yeah. As
a black person, being, undermined or oppressed, like that is wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong. I want that to change. I want to see that happen. I want to see them be able to walk around feeling secure in this country, feeling safe, and like they have the opportunity to make something of themselves. But like the bottom line is you can't change it by yourself.
Yeah.
Like
everybody has to change it.
Like in order for Black lives to matter, Black people can't just stand up and say that. White people have to understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like we have to understand what they're trying to accomplish. That's why these conversations are so important. And, especially with the Neglected podcast, I've been listening to Kevin's episode and talking about gun violence and talking about, the George Floyd incident. And it's been really good so far. I haven't finished it yet. But, those conversations are so important because it is imperative that as Americans, we understand each other, no matter what our skin color is. We need to understand where each of us are coming from. Yeah. And we do need to make that distinction that being Black in America is not the same as being white in America. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be different. We have different histories. I mean, we have hundreds of years of racism and oppression, and that's wrong. And that's why we are here. That's why we're here today, where we're at, is because, we haven't owned slaves. Yeah. We haven't done that, but our history has set up a system that was, some of these laws that we still have today were put in place back when slaves were still allowed. And, and that's why I'm saying we don't need to get rid of the system, because I really do believe that the system was set up to protect the people. Now, when it was originally set up, the definition of a person was different. They didn't define slaves as people. They didn't count. They counted as, what was it, 3/4 of a person or something like that. Like, but if we can really take that system and really figure out how we can apply it to make it equal across the board, that's where we win. Once we stop seeing this division and we start seeing ourselves as Americans who are living together, separate, like there's a difference.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be a bad thing. There can be equality. There can be equal opportunity. And the system can honestly help the, my neighbor, the Black man living down the street, can help him be equally as safe in this country as I am.
Yeah.
And I really think that, anyone who doesn't take the time to listen to that, anyone who doesn't take the time to hear that and to really try to think about how we can make that happen is really missing an opportunity to change the world.
Yeah.
So
I think that, you're right completely. I agree with all that. I think at the end of the day, this isn't, Skyrim or World of Warcraft. Like, no one gets to choose the color of skin that they're born into, including white people. And so whether white privilege is something that I take advantage of or benefit from subconsciously is not something that I had the ability to control in the first place. I
can tell you right now, if I had the option before I was born to pick to have privilege or not, I would have said no.
Yeah.
I want to earn my way. I want to earn my life in this country. That's what I want. And I really want that opportunity for everyone. I really want the opportunity for someone to work hard to achieve things. That's what this country should really be about. And we can get into it. People are going to argue with that all day. Talk about how this country was founded on racism, slavery, the founding fathers weren't good men. They weren't perfect. Yeah. Slavery was a thing. It's evil. But that's what I'm saying is this system that was put in place, if we can figure out how to help this apply to everyone and not just benefit, the rich or the white or the privileged, whatever. If we can figure out how to make the system work for everyone, that's where we're going to really see some victory. And we're really going to have people able to make something of their lives. I think everyone should have the opportunity to work for it. I don't think anything should be handed to you. Yeah. I really don't, and, I got lucky, in the last several years, since we moved to Savannah, my family has really figured out how to manage their money better. And, my dad doesn't make a lot. I mean, my mom doesn't work. My dad's a pastor. Like, that's not a big, that's like not a huge income. It's not that much. But they have figured out how they have worked hard to make sure that they don't have debt, to make sure that their costs are covered. We've turned our carport into an apartment to rent it out to cover our house payment. Like that's the type of stuff. Like, so I got really lucky coming into high school that we figured that out before I got here. So now I work a job, and my job I don't have to work the 2 jobs that I have in the freelance stuff to pay for my family. I have the opportunity to have that money to pay for my car, to, save up whenever I go to college, to be able to get a place to live eventually, and I think everyone should have that opportunity. I don't think anything should be given, I mean, gifts are good. Like if you want to give out of generosity, that's different, but I don't think you shouldn't expect the government to provide for you, I think those systems should really only be in place for those who can't take care of themselves. And if you're just a lazy person and you're not willing to work, I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't really have a whole lot of sympathy for that. If you've got a legitimate reason, I think that there are a lot of generous people in this world who can, you see organizations come together all the time to make stuff happen. You've got, all sorts of systems. Even with us, like we've got Red, we try to feed people. We try to, take care of those people in that neighborhood who don't have it's a food desert. They don't have a grocery store in their neighborhood. They don't have something nearby where they can go. And a lot of those people, they probably have cars, but I mean, some of them don't. Some people I see walk everywhere they go. Yeah. And we try to make it readily available there for them. All they have to do is show up, fill out some paperwork, and boom, you've got food, groceries, you got clothes, We've offered financial, aid, like lessons, teaching people how to manage their money. We've had, programs for kids to come and learn stuff. I think they did some art classes at one point. We've done the Christmas stuff, trying to help provide for families who maybe there's someone wants a bike, they can't afford it. All right, well, we've got 3 families in the church who are willing to chip in and get this kid a nice bike, like things like that. I really think that when you give the people the opportunity to work hard to earn stuff, they really have a better appreciation for the things that they have, and it really creates more generosity. When you get these people who are handed things their whole life, they feel entitled. They feel like, oh, that's mine. I need that. I don't know. I just think people need to learn how to respect each other better. I think we really need to, the thing that I find a lot is a lot of white people they feel defensive. Yeah. And the thing is I don't personally think I'm racist. I've never experienced that. My friend group has always been. It's never been a conversation until I got into high school. I'm working and having to deal with the real world, where racism was even a topic. I never thought about that. I never saw my friends different because of their skin color. Our financial situations were even similar, and there was never that divide. But as a white person, like I need to be able to sit here and feel the hurt of people of color. I don't know, Black, African American, whatever you want to say. I need to be able to see that the injustices or the injustice that has happened, and I need to be able to grieve with them and to as an American, to help each other get through this. And I don't think that this cop that they're trying to get put on death row right now from Atlanta, I don't think that's it, man. Like I really don't think an eye for an eye and it could just be because of my Christian beliefs, like what I believe. I don't think that's going to get us anywhere. I think that the system is cracked. It's not perfect, but I really think that we have the opportunity to change it instead of burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this and you are, African American, person of color, whatever, I get it. You got tried to be peaceful, for a long time, and it wasn't heard. But I really don't think hurting people is going to be, are we really going to get to the other side of this? Yeah. And there's just black families and white families alike crying over the loss of their child. Yeah. Maybe a dad, a sister, a brother, a mom, whatever. Are we really going to get to the other side of this and everyone's hurt and crying and feel like we accomplished anything?
Yeah.
I just don't think that's...
It's not
I can't speak for you, but I just don't think that's what we... that's not what I want. Yeah. I don't want to see more people get hurt. Yeah. No matter what their skin color is. I just want to see... I want to see things fixed. And I know this isn't really what we were planning on talking about, but it's just really been heavy on me for the last
I get it, man.
Week.
And it's it's something that we'll continue to touch on. It's just a thing to where we don't have the answers. Nobody really has the answers right now. And but this is how you come to some type of solution, is sitting down and talking about it, and just canceling somebody. Or,
2 minds are better than one.
Yeah, canceling somebody or telling them, that you don't want to hear what someone white has to say, or that your privilege should prevent you from entering into a conversation. I
don't hold anything against those people.
I don't either.
But
I don't either. But if what you're looking for is a solution, that isn't how you find it.
You're not going to find peace through violence.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I just,
Yeah.
Even people want to point at the American Revolution, we had to fight for our freedom. But we didn't find peace through that violence. Yeah. We may have found freedom, but there was a lot of hurt. There was a lot. We're still seeing the rainbow. That's all that's happening right now is we're seeing, we've got a deep history of problems that we're having to work through now. And all I know is that, my parents didn't want to see this for me growing up. Yeah. This isn't what they wanted me to have to live through. I sure as heck don't want my little siblings to live through this. I don't want my kids one day to have to live through this. I want us to be able to figure this out. Yeah. And I don't have the answers, but I do know that, I'm willing to have a conversation, and I'm hurting too, man. And I want us to be able to sit down no matter what our skin color is, and I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know what's happening in your life. I want to hear, what it is that's happening and how I can help. And if you don't know, if you don't know how to fix it, then you don't know how to fix it. Burning stuff down isn't a solution. Yeah, you've got people's attention, but those are that's our cities. Those, as Americans, you live here too, man. Yeah. You really want to see your town burned down? Where are you going to go?
Yeah.
You can't just move along to the next place until there's nothing left.
Yeah.
So
I agree. And
the whole argument of, corporate stuff, big companies like Target versus small businesses. Either way, dude.
You're still taking away people's livelihoods.
I got friends as a job. I got friends who work at Publix as bag boys. It's the only way,
Yeah.
For example, my buddy, Ethan, worked at Firehouse for a while. Hated it. His manager was awful, But he worked that job to help pay. His dad passed away. It was just him and his mom. His sister was going to college. He was trying to work hard to have money.
Yeah.
So that they could, live. And I couldn't imagine if they came in, burned that place down. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah. No way to make money.
Yeah. I just,
it's the truth, man. It's the truth.
I get it. I 100% get it.
Yeah.
If my family members were the ones being killed in the streets, I'd be angry too, dude.
Yeah.
You know? And right now they're not. You know, I don't have any family members who have been shot by police officers. I don't have anyone who's been, you know, killed in injustice. But I just really think taking it out on other people is not, you know, it's not the way to go about it.
Yeah.
So
I agree, dude. Well, there you have it. That's episode 40, dude. I hope that
we've made it pretty far, dude.
Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. 40 in, like I said, from now on, whenever you guys start seeing these episodes, they should be
more recent.
Yeah, more recent, more up to date with what's
usually
happening.
They're about 4 to 5 days after we make them. They get uploaded.
Yeah, now they should be within a day or two.
Yeah.
So, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Again, we don't have the answers, but you know, we just really feel
dude,
like,
have a conversation with someone. You know, find someone. Talk to them.
That's the way to do it. So, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at TBAT Quinn.
With that lower third. Mine is at TBAT SKINERICK. You know, you won't catch me out there getting in no debates.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to start a Twitter war. I may post what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But if I catch someone out there telling me why I'm wrong, they can just tell me why I'm wrong. So, you know, mostly just comedy, dude. If you want some laughs or if you want to really see how dumb I am, you could go over there and see what I'm thinking. But yeah.
Yeah. And so we'll see y'all next time. Next time we'll be going back to the Epstein thing for a little bit.
Epstein.
We just want to take a break for this one. And yeah, so thanks for listening, and we'll catch y'all next time.